Hey, it's your friendly neighborhood potato witch. Welcome to a quick review. Na 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 Katamari Damacy. Look, Katamari Damacy is an awesome series. Most of the time. I've been a fan of the series from back on the early days of the PlayStation 2. So yeah, when I finally scraped together the cash to buy the recent remake of the first game, Katamari Damacy Reroll, okay, upon research, it seems that this remaster is over 3 years old now, and I am very bad at staying on top of current releases. Chances were good that I'd have a lot of fun with it. And I did. I mean, are we really surprised? So, if you didn't know, Katamari Damacy, and by extension Katamari Damacy Reroll, is about rolling up objects on the Earth to replace the object in space, which were destroyed after the King of all Cosmos went on an intergalactic bender and wrecked everything. You play as the pint-sized prince, and it's your job to fix all your dad's mistakes while he takes the credit and berates you for not massively exceeding his expectations. And you thought your family dynamics were strained. One of my biggest complaints about the initial release of Katamari Damacy was its stiff controls, which were improved in the sequel, We Love Katamari. And while that was good, it did make it kind of a pain to go back and replay any levels from the original game once I'd gotten used to tighter, more responsive controls. So I was extremely happy to find out that the controls for Reroll were pretty good, pretty much what I was hoping they would be, and what I would have been really disappointed over if they weren't. I mean, what's the point in remastering a game if you can't take advantage of the better tech to fix something a lot of players used to find frustrating, right? So yeah, nice smooth controls for the most part. Though I won't lie, during some of the stages where the Katamari grows a lot, I did notice some slowdown when it came to quick turning. I know you can't tell just from the footage because you can't see when I'm pressing the joysticks down to activate the quick turn, but believe me when I say it took almost a whole second sometimes before anything happened. And when you're on a timer, that second can matter. But for the most part, I found the controls to be more enjoyable than the original. Not quite as good as some of the other games as the series went on, so there's still a little room here for tweaking, but from experience, they could have been a lot worse. Speaking of using better tech to make a game better in general, the graphics are freaking nice. They're the same style as always, naturally, because the fandom might have pitched an unholy fit if they tried to change it to photorealism or something, and frankly, I might have joined in. But playing this on my 4K TV? You know how when you're playing modern remasters of old games and you look at the graphics and go, I don't get it, this looks exactly like how I remember the original version looking. And then you play the original version again and realize that the new version is so much clearer, has better definition, and actually has better formatting for today's TVs and monitors and their incomparably better resolution? Yeah, that. Katamari Damacy Reroll is a really good example of that. It takes everything that was good about the original, scales it up, and makes it look exactly as good as your memories kept telling you the old one looked. At a side-by-side comparison, it's obviously different. But in your mind, your memories, it looks brilliant because your mind fills in those blanks and makes it shinier than it really was. When a remaster makes a game look as good as I remember it looking, it did something right. But there were times when I thought that maybe that extra computing power might not have been used in the best ways. Okay, take for instance the physics. Now yeah, sometimes in earlier Katamari games, you'd get a whole bunch of momentum then rolling, and you'd try for a gap that was too small, or you'd get a little stuck and things would fly off of your giant clump ball until you shrank enough to fit through the gap. But in Reroll, I swear, that happened so much. I mean, momentum in real life can end up wedging stuff where it's not supposed to go, but there were times I got stuck and I'd have to lose a significant percentage of my size in order to escape, and it would have been nice if that didn't happen like once every couple of levels. So frustrating. And that sometimes put me in the awkward position of being too large to roll through a necessary gap, but also too small to roll up and over a wall without things flying off me like I just rammed it at high speed. That's one thing I really wish had been changed from the original, honestly. You so much as gently bump a solid vertical object and your last collected thingy zooms away like you hucked it in a fit of rage. It's ridiculously sensitive, and it didn't need to be. Other games tweaked this aspect, and I'd have liked to see it tweaked here too. But that soundtrack... I love the music on the Katamari soundtracks. They're freaking catching, and it's so much fun to listen to while rolling up people's snacks and trying not to roll up people's cows. Could listen to it all day. Have, in fact. Reroll uses the same soundtrack from the original game, naturally, and while it's not my favorite, it is definitely high up there on the list. But for all I ran into some annoying problems, I can accept a few bits of frustration in any game. Stuff's just gonna happen. And the smoother controls made up for a lot, especially compared to the stiff controls in the original. Nothing got to me so much that I ever wanted to stop playing. Reroll is a very good remaster of a classic weird PS2 game. I hope they give We Love Katamari the same treatment because I will 100% buy that game if so. Heck, do that for all the other Katamari games, so I can play them on one single system, please. Release a Katamari Remastered collection, and I will be there. Do it the same way as this one. Don't throw in extra content, don't try to reconstruct the concept from the ground up, give me some achievements to earn and goals to strive for, and I am a happy little potato of all cosmos. Final verdict? If you love the original Katamari Damacy and you want to see how weirdly gorgeous and gorgeously weird it can look on a modern system, then yeah, your money will be very well spent on this remaster. It looks good, it sounds good, it loads significantly faster than it did back in the olden days, it plays pretty well, and it's just all around a good time. But it's not without its issues, many of which were there in the original and could have stood to be fixed here. So I think, ironically, the primary audience for this game are the people who already loved the series and didn't necessarily feel the need for a remaster. Achievements and trophies are nice and all that, and yeah, the graphical upgrade looks great, and yes, I enjoyed the crap out of it. But that's partially my point. It's fun, it's zany, it's great for the fans, of which I am one. But will it sway new people to also become fans, especially when all of the other games are for retro or near-retro systems at this point? I don't think it really will. Which is a shame, because the series as a whole is so much fun, and I'd love it if more people got into it. And like I said, I had a blast. An occasionally frustrating blast, yeah, but still. It was worth it for me. Will it be worth it for you? Maybe Space Daddy will have to Royal Rainbow you into another dimension so you can find out. I swear this game isn't code for an acid trip.